Captain Ryan Maddox was tired. He had traveled far from Earth on a peace mission. But peace was the last thing he found. The moment his small ship landed on the bright planet of Xanth, soldiers surrounded him. Huge, strong aliens with sharp eyes and strange armor. Ryan raised his hands. He knew he was their prisoner now. He was taken to a giant palace made of shining blue metal. Inside, the air smelled like strange flowers and sharp spice. The hall was huge, filled with thousands of Xanth people. All eyes were on him. At the end of the hall stood a tall figure wearing a crown that sparkled like stars. This was Queen Virelia, ruler of the Xanth Dominion. She looked down at Ryan with eyes full of fire. Ryan felt small and alone, but he kept his head high. "Captain Maddox," she said in a deep voice that echoed through the hall. "You come to my world uninvited. You bring my people fear. You are my prisoner." Ryan's heart pounded. He expected her to say he would die, but she surprised him. "You will marry my daughter," the queen said loudly. A loud gasp went through the crowd. Ryan blinked. Did she say what he thought she said? Marry her daughter. A human marry an alien princess. It sounded impossible. Ryan's mind raced. Was this a trick? A trap? A door opened behind the queen. A young woman stepped out. She was tall, with skin shining bright green like emeralds. She had 4 arms and eyes that burned like fire. This was Princess Tizara, the queen's only child. Tizara looked at Ryan with cold eyes. She did not smile. She crossed her arms and said, "I do not want this marriage. He is weak. He is not worthy." Ryan looked at her. He was tired but not weak. He was a soldier who had faced death many times. He would not run away now. Queen Virelia raised her hand. "This marriage is not about love," she said. "It is about saving my people. The Xanthi bloodline is dying. We need new strength. Your human blood may save us." Ryan understood. This was not a choice. It was an order. He was a key to the survival of an entire alien race. The hall was silent. Ryan felt the weight of the queen's words. Could one human really save a whole alien empire? He looked at Princess Tizara again. She did not trust him. She did not want him. Ryan made a decision. He would not be a prisoner or a pawn. He would fight to prove himself. "I accept your challenge, Your Majesty," Ryan said clearly, "but I will not be your enemy." The queen smiled slightly. "Very well, Captain. You will face the trial of strength. If you pass, you will earn your place by my daughter's side." Ryan's heart beat faster. The trial of strength was dangerous. Many had tried and failed, but he had no choice. As he was led away to prepare, Ryan felt a new fire inside him. This was just the beginning. Ryan Maddox stood in a bright room filled with strange weapons and armor. The palace was quieter now, but the tension in his chest grew. He had accepted the queen's challenge, but he still did not understand the princess he was supposed to marry. Princess Tizara was not like anyone Ryan had ever met. She was tall, with 4 strong arms and bright green skin that seemed to glow under the palace lights. Her eyes were sharp and cold, like she was always ready to fight. Ryan knew the stories. The Xanthi were a proud and fierce people. When Tizara entered the room, Ryan could see her dislike clearly. She walked with a quick, sure step and stopped just a few feet away. "You are weak," she said without any kindness. "A human does not belong here. You will never earn my respect." Ryan met her eyes calmly. "I am not weak," he said. "I fought in many battles. I will do what I must to survive." Tizara snorted. "You survive by luck, maybe. But here, strength and skill matter most." Ryan looked around. The room held many weapons Ryan had never seen before. Long blades that glowed, heavy clubs made of strange metals, and strange armor that looked like it could change shape. The Xanthi trained hard, and Ryan had to learn fast. Over the next days, Ryan began to train with the palace warriors. The warriors were huge and fast. Ryan's human body was smaller, but he had his own advantages: quick thinking, clever moves, and a strong heart. Tizera watched from the side, arms crossed, never speaking. Ryan noticed how her eyes followed him carefully. Sometimes she frowned. Sometimes she seemed surprised when he dodged or blocked a hard strike. One day, Tizera finally spoke. "You fight well for a human," she said quietly, "but it will not be enough." Ryan smiled. "Then I will fight harder." The Queen's challenge was clear. Ryan had to pass the trial of strength to earn a place beside the princess. It was not just about fighting. It was about honor, skill, and respect. That night, Ryan stood on a balcony, looking out over the shining city. The stars above were strange but beautiful. He thought about Earth, his home far away. He thought about the future, about a life he never imagined. Suddenly, footsteps came behind him. Tizera appeared, her eyes softer than before. "You do not belong here," she said again. "But you are not like the others." Ryan nodded. "I don't want to be your enemy. Maybe we can be something else." Tizera looked away. "Maybe. But first, you must survive the trial." Ryan's heart beat faster. The trial would be hard, but he was ready. For the first time, he felt a small spark of hope. In a world full of strangers, Ryan knew one thing for sure. He would never give up. Not now. Not ever. The day of the trial of strength arrived quickly. The palace was alive with excitement. The great hall was filled with thousands of Xanth citizens. They came to see if the human, Captain Ryan Maddox, could survive their ancient test. Ryan stood in the center of the arena, surrounded by towering walls. The ground beneath him was rough stone. Across from him stood the strongest warriors of the Xanth Dominion. They were large, fierce, and confident. Princess Tizera watched silently from the throne. Her eyes were sharp, but there was a flicker of curiosity. She had never seen a human try the trial before. The trial was not just about strength. It was about skill, intelligence, and respect for tradition. Ryan had learned some of the customs, but he still had much to understand. The first challenge was a test of speed. Ryan faced a warrior known for quick strikes. The warrior moved like lightning, but Ryan used his small size and quick thinking to dodge each attack. He studied the warrior's patterns and found the right moment to strike. A swift move sent the warrior to the ground. The crowd murmured in surprise. Next was the test of weapons. Ryan faced an alien with a glowing blade twice his size. The alien swung hard and fast. Ryan had never trained with such weapons before, but he used his own style. Instead of meeting strength with strength, Ryan moved around the alien, using the environment to his advantage. He knocked the blade away and tagged his opponent lightly on the shoulder. The crowd gasped. Princess Tizera's eyes narrowed. Ryan was doing better than she expected. The final challenge was a battle of wits. Ryan and another warrior faced a puzzle, a large device that needed solving to open a door. Ryan's hands moved quickly, pressing buttons and turning parts. The warrior struggled, but Ryan's human curiosity and logic helped him solve the puzzle first. The door opened. The hall erupted in cheers. Ryan stood breathing hard, but proud. He had passed the trial of strength. Tizera stepped forward. "You are not as weak as I thought. Human," she said. "You fight with your mind and your heart. That is something my people respect." Ryan looked at her, feeling a new connection. "I don't want to be your enemy," he said. "Maybe we can work together." The Queen smiled from her throne. "You have earned your place beside my daughter, Captain Maddox." But the trial was only the beginning. Ryan knew this was just the first step in a much larger struggle. As he left the arena, Ryan felt the eyes of the entire Dominion upon him. He was no longer just a prisoner. He was a challenger, a symbol of something new and different. And deep inside, Ryan felt a growing fire. He would prove to the Xanthi and to himself that a human could change the fate of an alien empire. After passing the trial of strength, Ryan Maddox was not a prisoner anymore. He was a guest, though not a welcomed one by all. The palace halls buzzed with whispers. Some Xanthi warriors nodded with respect, but many still looked at him with doubt. Princess Tizera stayed distant, watching Ryan carefully. She was still unsure if this human could really be part of her world. One evening, Ryan was called to a private chamber. Queen Virelia waited there, calm but serious. "Captain Maddox," she said, "you have done well so far. But you must understand why this marriage matters." She pointed to a large star map on the wall. "Our people face extinction. Our bloodline is weak. Without new life, we will disappear." Ryan looked closely at the map. Many stars marked Xanthi colonies, but some were dark now, abandoned after wars and plagues. "We need your human strength," the queen said quietly. "Your people are different, strong and full of life. This union is more than politics. It is survival." Ryan felt the weight of her words. This was bigger than him. Days passed, and Ryan began to learn more about Xanthi culture. He trained with warriors, studied their history, and met scientists who worked on ways to save their people. Everything was different, but fascinating. But not all was peaceful. Ryan soon learned of a secret threat inside the palace. A rival group called the Shadow Fangs wanted to overthrow the queen. They saw Ryan as a tool, or worse, a danger. One night, while walking through a quiet corridor, Ryan heard whispers. He hid behind a pillar and listened. "They say the human weakens the queen's power," a voice said. "He is a danger to us all." Another voice replied, "We must act before the wedding. The dominion cannot fall to a stranger." Ryan's heart raced. The palace was not just a home, it was a battlefield. And he was in the middle of it. The next day, Ryan told Tizera what he heard. She did not look surprised. "The Shadowfangs have always hated outsiders," she said. "Especially you." Ryan nodded. "We need to be ready." Tizera surprised him by offering her help. "If you want to survive, you need allies. I am not your enemy anymore." For the first time, Ryan felt something like trust between them. Together, they began to prepare. Ryan shared his human ideas about strategy and teamwork. Tizera showed him hidden paths in the palace and secret warriors loyal to the queen. The closer they worked, the more Ryan understood this was not just a forced marriage. It was a chance to change the future. Ryan smiled inside. He had come far, but the real battle was just beginning. The day of the wedding was unlike anything Ryan Maddox had ever seen. The great hall of the Xanth Palace was decorated with glowing flowers and shimmering banners. Thousands of Xanthi gathered to witness the union of the human captain and Princess Tizera. But beneath the celebration, tension hung heavy in the air. Ryan wore armor polished to shine under the bright lights. His heart pounded as he waited at the altar. Across from him, Tizera stood tall and proud, her forearms folded. Though her eyes were hard, Ryan could see a flicker of respect there. The queen's voice rang out, clear and strong. "Today, we unite two worlds. This marriage will save the Xanth people and bring new strength to our empire." But before the ceremony could end, chaos exploded. From the shadows, assassins struck. Swift and deadly, they attacked the guards and guests. Ryan drew his weapon instantly, shouting, "Get down." Tizera fought beside him, her forearms moving like lightning. Together, they fought off the attackers with skill and fierce determination. The crowd scattered in fear, but Ryan and Tizera stood their ground. The queen shouted orders, rallying loyal warriors to protect the palace. Ryan realized this was not just a wedding. It was a battle for the future of the Xanthi dominion. Amid the fight, Ryan noticed something strange. The assassins fought with a strange symbol on their armor. The mark of the Shadow Fangs, the secret group that wanted to overthrow the queen. Ryan and Tizera moved as a team, covering each other's backs. Tizera's strength was incredible, but Ryan's quick thinking and unorthodox tactics surprised even her. He used the environment to trap and confuse the enemies. As the last assassin fell, the hall grew quiet again. The guests slowly came out of hiding, eyes wide with shock and relief. Tizera turned to Ryan. You fought well. You are stronger than I thought. Ryan smiled, breathing hard. We fought together. That's what matters. The queen approached them, her face proud but tired. You have proven yourself in battle and honor. This marriage is real. Together, you will lead the Xanthi into a new age. Ryan looked at Tizara, feeling a connection deeper than before. He knew the road ahead would be hard, but for the first time, he believed they could face it together. As the ceremony finally ended, Ryan felt the eyes of the Dominion upon him, not as a prisoner, but as a partner. He was no longer just a human in an alien world. He was part of something greater. The wedding was a new beginning, but Ryan also knew the war was far from over. After the wedding battle, the Xanthi Dominion seemed peaceful for a short time, but beneath the calm, danger was growing. The Shadowfangs, the secret group that tried to kill Ryan and Tizara, did not give up. They wanted the queen gone, and they wanted to stop the human from becoming part of their world. One night, the palace shook with explosions, alarms rang out, and chaos spread quickly. The Shadowfangs had launched a surprise attack. Ryan and Tizara were ready. They fought fiercely side by side, their bond stronger after the wedding battle. But the enemy was many, and the palace was large. The queen was captured during the attack. The Shadowfangs took control, declaring a new ruler. The loyal warriors of the queen were scattered or captured. Ryan and Tizara escaped through secret tunnels beneath the palace. The halls above burned as their enemies took power. Outside, the night was cold and dark, but Ryan's mind burned with determination. We cannot give up, Ryan said. If the queen falls, the Dominion falls. Tizara nodded. We must find the loyalists. We need to fight back. They traveled across wild lands, meeting small groups of Xanth who still believed in the queen. These warriors were tired but willing to fight. Ryan used his human experience to train them. He taught them how to work as a team, how to use strategy, and how to trust each other. Slowly, a small army grew. Tizara's presence inspired many. Even those who doubted the human now saw him as a leader. Together, they became a symbol of hope. Word spread across the Dominion. The human fights for us. But the journey was dangerous. The Shadowfangs sent hunters after Ryan and Tizara. Many battles were won, but the cost was high. One evening, Ryan looked at Tizara by the campfire. She was tired but strong. This fight is bigger than us, Ryan said quietly. It's about the future of the Xanth, and maybe even humans. Tizara smiled softly. I once hated you. Now, I fight by your side. Ryan reached out his hand. Together, we are stronger. She took it without hesitation. As the stars shone above, the two leaders knew the fight to save the Dominion was just beginning. But for the first time, they believed victory was possible. Ryan Maddox and Princess Tizara had built a small but fierce army to fight the Shadowfangs. Their loyal warriors trained hard every day, preparing for the final battle to take back the palace and save Queen Varelia. But Ryan knew they needed more than strength. They needed a secret weapon. One day, Ryan visited the palace scientist, Dr. Killen. The old alien was quiet and serious, but smart beyond measure. Captain Maddox, Dr. Killen said, we have been working on something special, a device that can change the course of this war. Ryan's eyes brightened. What is it? Dr. Killen showed him a small, glowing orb. This is the pulse core. It can send a powerful energy wave that disables all electronic weapons and machines in the area. Ryan thought about the Shadowfangs. They used many advanced weapons and drones to control the palace. If we use this pulse core at the right moment, we can level the field, Ryan said. But how do we get it inside the palace without being caught? Dr. Killen smiled. That is where your skills come in. That night, Ryan and Tizara planned the attack. They would sneak into the palace with a small team. While the main army distracted the enemy outside, Ryan would carry the pulse core inside to the control center. Tizara looked at Ryan seriously. This is dangerous, but you are the only one who can do this. Ryan nodded. I am ready. The next day, the battle began. The loyal warriors fought bravely, keeping the Shadowfangs busy. Explosions and shouts filled the air. Ryan, Zara, and their team slipped through secret tunnels. The halls were dark and silent, but danger was close. They reached the control center. Guards were everywhere. Ryan's heart pounded, but he stayed calm. Using quick moves and careful timing, Ryan and his team fought their way inside. They placed the pulse core in the center of the room. Ryan activated the device. A bright light flashed, and a wave of energy spread through the palace. Suddenly, all the enemy's weapons and machines stopped working. The Shadowfangs were powerless. The loyal warriors outside took advantage of the moment. They stormed the palace and captured the enemy leaders. The queen was freed from her prison. She smiled at Ryan and Zara with pride. You have saved the Dominion, she said. Your courage and strength are the future of our people. Ryan looked at Zara. She smiled back, her eyes full of respect, and something more. The war was over, but a new journey was just beginning. Together, Ryan and Zara would lead the Xanthi into a new era, one where humans and aliens stood side by side. The battle was over, but the work to rebuild the Xanthi Dominion had just begun. Ryan Maddox and Princess Zara stood side by side in the Great Hall, watching as the Queen addressed the gathered citizens. Queen Varelia's voice was strong and clear. Today, we begin a new chapter, one where humans and Xanthi will stand together. Our survival depends on this alliance. Ryan felt a mix of pride and responsibility. The people around him still looked at him with curiosity and some with doubt, but now many were hopeful. Zara approached Ryan after the speech. You have changed many minds, she said quietly. Not just in battle, but with your heart. Ryan smiled. I want to help. This is our future. Over the next weeks, Ryan worked with Xanthi leaders to rebuild cities, improve defenses, and create new laws to protect all species. He shared human ideas about teamwork, fairness, and hope. But the biggest challenge was trust. Many Xanthi still found it hard to accept a human as part of their royal family. Ryan knew he had to prove himself every day. One day, a group of young Xanthi warriors approached him. Captain Maddox, they said, we want to train with you. Ryan's eyes lit up. I would be honored. He began teaching them not only fighting skills, but also how to think and work as a team. Slowly, friendships grew, and barriers started to break down. Meanwhile, Zara worked with scientists and diplomats, helping to unite other planets in the Dominion. Together, she and Ryan became a symbol of hope and change. But peace was fragile. There were still dangers lurking outside the borders. Rogue groups and old enemies watched, waiting for a chance to strike. One evening, as Ryan and Zara walked under the stars, she said, our work is never done. Ryan nodded, but we face it together. He looked at the sky, thinking about Earth and the long journey that had brought him here. For the first time, Ryan felt truly at home, not just on an alien planet, but in a new family and a new future. And no matter what came next, he knew one thing. Humanity's strength was not just in weapons or battles, but in hope, courage, and unity. Despite the new hope in the Xanthi Dominion, dark memories of the past still haunted many. Ryan Maddox and Princess Zara knew that peace was fragile and could be broken by old enemies or new dangers. One morning, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A distant planet, once part of the Dominion, had rebelled. The rebels did not trust the new alliance and threatened to start a war. Ryan and Zara prepared to travel to the troubled planet. They needed to stop the rebellion before it spread and tore the Dominion apart. As their ship moved through space, Ryan thought about the journey. He had started as a prisoner, forced into a strange marriage, and now he was a leader fighting for a future for two worlds. When they landed, they were met by angry crowds. The rebels shouted that the Xanthi were weak and the humans should never be part of their rule. Zara stepped forward, her voice calm but strong. "We want peace. We want to protect all who live in the Dominion." Ryan added, "We are not here to fight. We want to listen and find a way forward." The leaders of the rebellion were cautious but agreed to meet in secret. In the meetings, Ryan and Tizera learned the rebels' fears. They worried the humans would change their way of life too much. They feared losing their traditions and independence. Ryan listened carefully. "Change is hard," he said, "but it can also bring new strength. We want to protect your culture, not destroy it." Tizera promised to work with the rebels to respect their traditions while building a stronger future. Slowly, trust grew. The rebels agreed to stop fighting, but the road ahead was still difficult. Before leaving, Ryan and Tizera visited a memorial for those lost in the past wars. Ryan placed a hand on the cold stone and thought about all the lives changed by hate and fear. "We must learn from the past," he said softly. "If we do not, the shadows will always return." Sarah nodded. "Together, we can bring light." As they left the planet, Ryan looked at Tizera and smiled. "No matter what comes, we face it as one." The stars outside shone bright, and Ryan felt hope stronger than ever. The Xanthi Dominion had faced many challenges, but the greatest test was still ahead. Ryan Maddox and Princess Tizera stood together before the Council of Planets, ready to make a decision that would change their worlds forever. The council chamber was vast and filled with leaders from many species. Some were friendly, others suspicious. All eyes were on Ryan and Tizera. Queen Varelia's voice echoed in Ryan's mind. "Your courage and unity will shape the future." Tizera stepped forward first. "We have fought wars, faced enemies, and overcome fear. Now we must choose a path forward, one of unity and strength." Ryan took a deep breath. "Humans and Xanthi are different, but we share the same dreams. Peace, safety, and a future for our children. Together, we can build a stronger dominion." The leaders whispered among themselves. Some nodded in agreement, others looked unsure. Then a leader from a distant planet stood. "If this union can bring peace, then we will support it." Another voice added, "We will stand together." One by one, the leaders agreed to the new alliance, an alliance that would bring humans and Xanth together, not just in marriage but in purpose. As the council chamber erupted in cheers, Ryan looked at Tizera. Their journey, from enemies to partners to leaders, had come full circle. Outside, the stars seemed to shine brighter, as if celebrating the new beginning. Ryan thought about Earth, about the long road that had led him here. He felt proud to be part of something greater than himself. Sarah smiled, her 4 arms resting gently on his shoulders. "This is just the beginning," she said. Ryan nodded. "Together, we will face whatever comes next." The Xanthi Dominion was no longer just an alien empire. It was a future united, where differences were strength, and hope was the greatest weapon of all. And as the stars watched over them, Ryan knew that the human spirit, the courage to face the unknown, the will to unite, and the heart to love, had truly changed the fate of the galaxy.